I guess it's been a while since we've done one of these. So, a couple things to talk about in this video. But before that, welcome to Seireitei Talk, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything Bleach related. I am your host. This is a part of Season 2. I'm just saying. But at the same time, it's not an interview of any sorts. It's kind of just to talk about a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing as of recent. The first being those beautiful Can't Fear Your Own World characters that were released today. I'm just saying, they are, as the kids these days say, sugoi sugoi. And, well, I'm in love with them. What more can I say? The Yami, the Noitora, and the Zomari. For those that don't know, unpopular opinion here, Zomari is my favorite Espada. And no matter how many times they call him Zomari Ruro, I'm going to call him Luro, because it just sounds better. And I know I'm one to usually go with the canon. Like, I talk about that type of stuff a lot, but I don't know, I feel like his name was intended to be Zomari Luro, and due to translation errors and stuff, it just didn't come to fruition, I guess you could say. But I'm going to be going for all three. I'm going to have a full team of all three. Hopefully, this is the one that inspires me enough, because when the light novels first came out and it was Hikone, Neliel, and Grimjow, I was like, ooh, I'm going to get them. But I didn't get them. And as I'm recording this right now, I'm grinding for the light novel characters. So if you hear the vibration of my phone in the background, that's the second topic we're going to talk about. OCs. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna try and refrain from swearing and cursing as much as humanly possible in this video. But oh my god, are there some garbage OCs out there? You know, and I know a lot of people take great pride and cherish their characters like they're gifts from God. Guess what, kiddos? They're not. You know, I'm gonna be absolutely brutal, and you all can hate me as much as you want. But it's the truth. Your character isn't that good. I'm sorry. One in particular, actually, I'll get the generals out, and then once I'm done with this level, because I can't do two things at once, apparently, I'll get into it. But the general idea of what I see with these OCs is Visoreds. Why Visoreds? You know, it doesn't make your character unique if every OC under the sun is a Visored or has a hollow inside of them. Like, that makes no sense as to you giving your character a generic power boost. On top of that, it's not even humanly possible. Like, I'm surprised of the amount of people who have no idea how a Visored is made, and I just completed the level, so let's go to Facebook. I've strayed away from Amino a little bit because activity has been stale on there for the most part, but Facebook, man, they have some bumping role plays going on. Oof. To say the least. I mean, there's also, okay, another thing. I promise I'm working on the video for this with Boss Bleach Hub. For those that don't know, it's a power scaling video of the Espada because apparently people don't understand that Ulaqiorra is not the strongest Espada by any means. He's really not. And it blows my mind how many people think he is. You know? Like, how are you going to honestly sit here and tell me that just because he has a second Resurrección, which he doesn't, the Segunda Etapa is like Ruri Iru Kujaku. I'm going to get into that later. But how are you going to sit here and tell me that he's the strongest Espada when he's number 4? I'm going to let that sink in. How are you going to sit here and tell me he's the strongest Espada because he has a second Resurrección? Guess what? Stark, who walked by a Rancor. Not a Rancor, my bad. Hollows and Minnows. Gillion class Minnows. Just by walking by them, killed them. But because Ulaqiorra has a second Resurrección, he's somehow the strongest. Explain to me how that works. Stark was able to split his soul due to how strong he was. And then still kill Hollows by his presence alone. How is Ulaqiorra the strongest? It's a little rant. It blows my mind how many idiots there are out here. And I don't know. It just... I'm going to have to get someone on to help me talk about this because this is absolutely retarded. Period. I mean, okay, Ulaqiorra, Espada number 8, was so powerful that he was doing the same thing. A lot of people don't know this because it was only in the light novels, but he was so strong that he had to split his soul. And when he split his soul, it put him down to Priveron Espada number 100. That's wild. Meanwhile, Stark did it and remained at 1. That's wild. Ain't it? But then that's not even to get into the girth, I guess you could say, of Yami Largo and his Zanpakuto Aira. It's so powerful when he releases. He goes from Espada number 10 to Espada number 0. His number actually changes. Ulaqiorra's doesn't. And people still somehow think that Ulaqiorra is the strongest because he has a second Resurrección. And they say, and they quote, Lord Aizen doesn't even know about this form. Guess what? Who cares? Aizen's a transcendental being. You know, like that's kind of a, I don't know if you know this, it's kind of a big deal in the Bleach universe to be a transcendental being. Like, it's... How are you going to sit here and tell me the Bat is the strongest when he's labeled 4? Even Ulaqiorra himself states there are 3 other Espada stronger than me. You know? Talking about Holly, Bell, Baragon, and Stark. It's understandable he doesn't know about Yami, or he's talking about Yami. Hell, he might even just be talking about Baragon, Stark, and Yami. Either way, Yami was on the level of Vasto Lorde Ichigo. Arguably. Because, if I'm correct, when he's like tossing around Rukia and Renji like they're rocks on a pond, he's trying to like skip them on the water. He looks up at the top of Las Noches and says, "Oh, it looks like I'm going to have to go up there and help Ulaqiorra myself." I can't do a Yami voice. I can do everyone else except Yami. Implying that he's on the level of Vasto Lorde Ichigo. To the point where if he goes up there, he's going to overpower Ulaqiorra. I mean, not Ulaqiorra. Overpower Vasto Lorde Ichigo. You know? And I just don't understand it. Like, if somebody could come up with a valid argument that isn't, oh, he was holding back, because there's no proof he was holding back. You know? Oh, Aizen didn't know. Guess what? Aizen could most likely feel it. You know? Being a transcendent character, he was able to sense, like, even the most minute holdback of spiritual pressure. To which he probably did feel it in Ulaqiorra. You know? I just don't understand. Come up with something better, please. I want to have this debate. I really do. Just because of how ridiculous some of the arguments are. I even debated this one dude and pointed out multiple times that Ulaqiorra stated that there are 3 other espadas stronger than him, to which the dude still said, oh, Ulaqiorra was still holding back, Ulaqiorra was good for him. That doesn't mean anything, dude. He got wrecked by a Vasto Lorde. Whereas Haribel, or Halibel, as a lot of people like to mix up her name, it's Halibel. You know. Halibel had 3 captain level Soul Reapers fighting her. Before you say anything, yes, I know Hiyori and Lisa were lieutenants, however, that was 100 years ago. Obviously they've grown stronger. That on top of the hollow mask, they're classified as captain level, let's be honest. Mr. Toshiro in Bankai. You know, maybe not matured Bankai. Matured Bankai could probably spread Halibel's cheeks and clap him hard. But he was still in Bankai regardless. He was in Daigorin Hiyori Maru. And she was still holding them off fairly well. But it took a Vasto Lorde to defeat a second Resurrección Ulaqiorra. You know, the argument for it really isn't helping at all. And another thing, the 2 things that weren't allowed in Las Noches were the Gran Recero of an Espada and the Resurrección of Espadas 4 through 1. But Yami was able to release. He released Ira in the walls of Las Noches. So that could just be a continuity thing. Maybe the rules didn't apply to him because at the time he was Espada number 10. But when his number changed from 10 to 0 on his shoulder, it should have warranted something. I mean, I know there was nothing anybody can do at that point in time, but that's still a big deal, you know? Yeah, going back to the Visoreds, I guess, there's 3 topics of discussion in this video. And I guess this is a leadway video to a couple videos I have planned. But for the most part, I just want to talk about these things and get them out of the way to go into the future videos. Back to the Visoreds. Let's talk about that. Because I don't understand people's logic. You know, even if you don't know how Visoreds are made, even if you do go with the stupidest answer on Earth, which is, I was infected by a hollow. Guess what, stupid? That's not how it works. I don't know if you know this. There's a character named Cayenne Shiba, Ichigo's uncle, who was infected by a hollow, Metastasia, and he was completely overtaken by it. Oh, but my willpower is stronger. No, it's not. If you're overtaken by a hollow, that's multiple spirits against possibly even 2. I bring that up because Nejibana is Cayenne's Zanpakuto, and arguably enough, he would have been able to have Nejibana help him in this state of being controlled by Metastasia. Now, that's not to say a Soul Reaper's willpower is nothing compared to a Hollow's. It's just to say you have 3 against 2. What odds are in the favor? Most likely the 3 is going to win against the 2. Now, there are some cases where the 2 does win, but if you're going by numerical logic, the 3 will win. You know, it's just more. And in the case of that happening, most likely the hollow is going to overtake you and you're just going to become a hollow. You're just going to become a part of it. You're going to become like Grand Fisher. When he ate Ichigo's mom, he was able to utilize her spirit. Or you're going to become like Aronero, who was able to use the face of Cayenne Shiba and bring back all of his memories. And even somehow use Nejibana. That's a big deal. It's worth noting that Aronero was the only Espada to stay an Espada from the original. All the others either died or became Priverone Espada, which would be, I think, Dordoni, that dude who fought Chad, and my beautiful, beautiful Cheruchi Sandaruichi. Ooh. Ole. The other excuse these idiots like to use is that it was passed down from like their parents, which also can't fucking happen. I'm sorry, that's more so how a Fullbringer works, not a Visored. You know, and I've made articles on this type of stuff before. I've commented on this type of stuff. I've even talked to others about this type of stuff. Excuse me. In the chats. Like in the Amino. Excuse me. It's borderline retarded. You know, and a lot of people go, oh, what about Ichigo? Ichigo's main character. I don't know if you know this. Main character rules don't apply to the rest of the series. And even then, even if they do, because I can think of one example in Bleach, and even then, it's only a theoretical example of Ichigo having the same type of something as someone else. Or someone else having the same type of example as Ichigo. And that's Ginjo Kugo. Or Kugo Ginjo, whichever one you want to use. And even then, we don't even know if he's able to use the hollow mask like Ichigo is. You know, it's kind of a big deal. Ichigo's extremely situational. He's main character, so obviously that gives him privilege above everyone else. On top of that, he also has the royal Shiba clan blood. So that's also the example to use with him. You're not a royal clansman. Therefore, you can't just be like, oh, well, the hollow was passed down inside of me. Guess what, stupid? No. It's not how shit works. You'd be a Fullbringer, not a Visored. You stupid. I'm not going to let you get the chance to have a trash-ass OC. And even then, Ichigo had the spirit of Yuha within him. Fucking Yuha Bach. Which, for those that are actually wondering, his name is Yuha Bach. It's not just Yuha. His full name is Yawachbach. I know people are like, oh, that's mistranslation. No. If you listen to the voice of, like, his voice on Brave Souls, he says, Warita daishida, oh, Yuha Bach. He's Yuha Bach. That's another rant for a different video. Probably another video. Hey, that's 4 videos I have to write a script for. For those wondering, too, this video is completely off the top of my head, so I don't even know if I can actually classify it as a Seireitei Talk, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything Bleach related. I am your host. But it's worth noting, you cannot use the main character. This goes for any series, not just Bleach, but you can't use your main character for an example for an OC. Like, that's just blatant stupidity right there. It's not special to make your character a Visored. You know, it can't happen. And I really wish people would realize that. And that's also the reason why I'm making this video, to hopefully educate others onto making characters, or to spread awareness to other people to making characters. You know, this is a lot of people make their OCs without even like a second thought. They're just like, oh, and I guess I'll give him a Visored. It's like, no, dude, what? Like, oh, they've been busy. See, this dude right here, this Kirito. First of all, his name is Kirito, and he thinks he can start some shit about Bleach with me. He gets a nigga named Bakugo. Oh, great. There's the curse. Oops. Like, I'm not even getting their notifications. This is how stupid he is. They like, he's saying, I'll read it out. I really will. Ulaqiorra Schaefer is, but the post was I bet 70% will fail this. Name the strongest Espada. He says, Ulaqiorra Schaefer, Espada number 2, am I right? The dude says, good. He said, all right. I said, you're stupid too, I see. He says, what do you mean by that? I said, he's not the strongest. It's common sense. He said, explain. I said, he's labeled number 4, which I stated in, like, earlier in the video. He said, obviously he's not the strongest. He said, your moronic mind makes you to be stupid. Emoji. First of all, if you're using emojis, your argument is already invalid. He said, I know Bleach Season 1, all of it. Guess what? That doesn't mean anything. Then you say so. Do you know that Ulaqiorra is Lord of many hollows? Many, M-I-N-I, smaller hollows, not M-A-N-I, to which he's not. At all. I think Ulaqiorra only had 2 Fraction, which were Loli and that blonde chick? I don't really know. I can't remember. If you say Ulaqiorra is not strong, why can he regenerate his injuries once he gets slashed? Every Espada can. It's just Ulaqiorra specializes in it. You know, each one traded in a certain trait for a other trait. They all have the same traits. It's just Ulaqiorra's is stronger than the rest, and he even states this. Even Ichigo didn't kill Ulaqiorra. Ulaqiorra just vanished himself for Ichigo's feelings. No. That's incorrect. He flat out stated he reached the limit of his healing ability. Ichigo's feelings had nothing to do with it. He was about to kill Ichigo when he, regenerated. Then he posted a picture and he's like, do you know that Ulaqiorra is a best one? Check out his hollow skin. What does his skin have to do with anything? I said, you clearly don't know enough since there's a number representing how strong they are. Any Adhucha level Menos can control lower level Menos, including hollows and stuff. That was stated as well. On top of that, every Espada has Fractions, so your argument is invalid there. All Arrancar have high speed regeneration, including Ichigo when he was about to holify. This is shown when he fights the Visoreds and stuff. I could make an entire video on this. This dude is an idiot. This is what I'm talking about when people say Ulaqiorra is the strongest Espada. He's not. By any means. He's by far not the strongest. He was getting ragdolled by a Vasto Lorde. Substitute Soul Reaper Vasto Lorde. I said, dude, your arguments aren't even relevant to the conversation. I didn't say he wasn't strong, which he is. He's extremely strong. His attack potency is one of the best. I mean, he's number 4 for a reason. It doesn't mean he's weak. I said, I didn't say he wasn't strong. I said he wasn't the strongest. What do you think? Excuse me. I said, what? You think because he had a second form, it makes him the strongest? Let me ask you this. Just because you have Bankai, does that mean you're automatically going to win? No. It's still you who's the idiot. Because he asked me, who's the idiot now? It's still you. I said, come up with better points. I said, on top of that, what does his skin have to do with anything? He said, okay, your information have no sense. Not all Espada have high-speed regeneration. Grimmjow don't have it. Also, Espada 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9. Yes, they do. When an Arrancar goes into the Resurrection, any damage that they have sustained up until that point is completely regenerated. That's high-speed regeneration. Then he comments his friend. He goes, Bakugo, tell this fool about Ulaqiorra. He said, lol, only Ulaqiorra can regenerate. Others gave up that ability for physical strength. Incorrect. Any and all Arrancar can. I'm tired of repeating this point. He said, yeah, you're right. Do you see captains who fight with Espada 1? Do you think they can defeat Ulaqiorra? Stark had 1, 2, 3, 4 captains going up against him, and he was still casually fighting them. He wasn't even trying. He had Love, Rose, Shunsui, and Jushiro fighting against him. And he was destroying Love and Rose. He even stated that they were such a threat that he might actually have to try against them. And then got stabbed in the back by Shunsui. And then Love and Rose were like, hey, you stole our kill. And Shunsui was like, oh well, babies, get over it. Ulaqiorra, the dude that made the post said even Ulaqiorra defeated someone powerful than a captain, but Van was killed by Vastalorde Ichigo, which this dude just said he wasn't killed by Vastalorde Ichigo, which is 10 times stronger than all the captains put together. That's not true either. Give me a sec. Like, this just goes to show the Ukitards? What would you call them? The Bat Boys. There you go. This just goes to show that the Bat Boys don't have common sense. Like, that. It's also the reason why I have this podcast, so that I can educate people. I'm going to call them out on this because of their stupidity. You know, this other dude, another video for another time. I can debate people on this one. This dude said, wow, Momo is able to combine so much ketos in her unique fashion. Then he said this, but he deleted it. He said Tessai doesn't stand a chance. Bitch. Anyway, back to the OCs. The third topic of discussion. And I'll be making separate videos on all of these because this video is going to be so long. If you're making an OC, don't copy canon characters. Alright, that's the bottom line of things. Please don't copy canon characters. Your Shikai can't be stronger than first of all, a noble clansman's Bankai by 30%. And if your Bankai is 50% stronger than your Shikai, that's only a 1.5 multiplier. A Bankai is a 5 to 10 times multiplier. This dude's name is Tiboho Byakuya Peace. His nickname is Byakuya Kuchiki. You dumb as shit. I'm sorry. You dumb. Stupid. Rank Captain of Squad 2, Zanpakuto. I understand Zanpakuto is not a very common word. It is hard to spell, so I'm not going to criticize him on that. But it is Zanpakuto. Zanpakuto. Wait. I think I just misspelled it. Zanpakuto. No, wait. I think I said that. Never mind. Sandano. Sandano. That's the name of his Zanpakuto. I don't care about how the way people put the names of their Zanpakuto. Appearance just like Byakuya's. Shikai Kinsui Bonzakura Hyomi. That's the name of his Zanpakuto. Or that's his Shikai. So why he says his Zanpakuto's name is Sandano, I don't know. He's a dumbass. It is Zenbon Sakura Kageyoshi, but it is 30% more powerful and fast. So when you are inside, you can't do anything. So it opens many deep wounds in your body. Look. I understand there's language barriers. So I'm not going to be criticizing him for his English, for his poor English, because he might not be from America or the UK. You know, but the character itself, the Shikai, we'll stop right there for now. The Shikai is what? Laughable. And I already commented on this dude's post, told him everything. I was like, dude, you either need to completely rework this character or just delete it and give up on roleplay. Because this is some straight garbage. Your Shikai can't be that like that. I'm sorry, to put it in the simplest terms possible, your Shikai, you can't say your Shikai is so fast that you can't do anything, so it opens many deep wounds in your body. Guess what? If you're going up against somebody who is a fire elemental or an ice elemental or something that counters grass, anything that counters grass, really, then you're kind of fucked. Pardon the language. His Bankai is Kinsui Sando, or Sandano. It uses much of my spirit energy to create more mixture of sand and Kinsui Ban Zakura, so that it means it is 50% stronger than my Shikai, but I don't use it much. What? Like, for those that don't understand either, a Zanpakuto can only be one element. Whether it be fire, poison, keto, melee, earth, things of that nature, or even the classified unknown. I'm ranting on this dude's Zanpakuto so fucking hard, or this dude's character so hard right now, because when I commented, he didn't really understand what needed to be changed. Then he put stats. I don't really understand the point of stats on an OC, because there's varying levels of, like, everything. You know? Like, say you're a captain. Obviously, you'd have 100 in at least 2 to 3 stats. If you're head captain, that stat would have to be somewhere along the lines of all hundreds. You know, Yamamoto had hundreds in everything except physical strength, which was, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was, physical strength was 90? So, like, dude, and if you're a Squad 0 member, you obviously have stats maxed out in all of them. That's a different video for a different day. I think I'll do a face cam video for that, because it's big. It's in the roleplay world, stats are a big thing. Anyway, other abilities, or his Bankai command release, which, first of all, I see a lot of that. You do not need a Bankai command release. You just say Bankai and then the name of the Bankai. His other abilities are, Keto is 60 out of 10. That's fine. Flash Step is 100 out of 100. If he's Squad 2, obviously you need 100 out of 100. Defense is 90 out of 100. Alright. Attack is 100 out of 100. But then here's the thing. He says spiritual pressure is 50 out of 100. If I release it full, I will destroy everything. So 10% is good for battle. If I release it to 40, It even overwhelms the head captain. That's not how the spiritual pressure works. First of all, he's head captain for a reason, meaning he's supposed to be able to take out multiple captain-level Shinigamis at once. That's not how your thing works. If your spiritual pressure is 50 out of 100, then your attack potency is most likely going to be 50 out of 100, meaning you're not necessarily weak, you're just more so not strong. Personality, Byakuya doesn't like to brag that he is strong, and he is mostly quiet. Warning, if you use my Shikai and Bankai, you will die, only I can use it. That's common sense. It's also the last topic of discussion for this video. Nobody can use your Shikai or Bankai, stupid. Only you can use yours on Zanpakuto. Say I've got Komamoto's Zanpakuto. If I yell, Bankai! Kokujo Tengenmyo o Dangai Joe! A giant monster with demon horns isn't going to pop up behind me. Nothing's going to happen. So guys, what I want to get across in this episode of Seireitei Talk, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything Bleach related, is 1, Ulaqiorra is not the strongest. 2, you can't be a Visored. And 3, make better OCs. If you're going to make one, please, I'm freaking begging you, do some research before just jumping into making an OC. But with that, pals, I'm going to end this video off here. Stay tuned for the next season of Seireitei Talk, where I gather YouTubers centered around Bleach, and we basically just have a fun time, whether it be debating or just dicking around. I hope you all have sweet dreams, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. See you, pals.